So I don't really tell people about this in real life, but I guess sharing it here feels safer. I'm just a normal young guy in my early 20s, nothing special. But something happened in my life that I never thought was possible. I'm talking about how I ended up retiring my parents with something I didn't even understand at first. AI forex trading. Let me start from the beginning. I grew up in a family that didn't have much. My dad worked long hours in a factory. My mom sold little things in the local market, just so we could eat. We weren't starving, but we were always just one emergency away from being broke. If my dad got sick or my mom couldn't sell her goods, we were done. As a kid, I hated seeing him come home tired. My dad's hands were always rough. My mom's feet always hurt from standing too long. I told myself, one day I'll make enough money so they don't have to work again. But at the time, I didn't even know how that would happen. When I got older, I saw people making money online. Some were doing crypto. Some were trading forex. Some were talking about AI and robots. Honestly, at first it all sounded like scams. I had no teacher, no mentor, no rich uncle. Just YouTube videos, Reddit posts, and free PDFs. One night, I was scrolling my phone, and I saw a story about a guy who built a robot to trade forex for him. The robot was an AI bot that made decisions faster than humans. I didn't even understand half of what he was saying, but one thing stuck with me. AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't panic. It just follows data. That blew my mind, because I knew humans, like me, panic all the time when it comes to money. The problem was, I didn't have money to invest. My savings was maybe $50 at most, and even that was supposed to buy school stuff. But I was stubborn. I started reading free guides on forex. I learned about things like candlesticks, pips, leverage. At first, it looked like alien language. I'd watch charts moving up and down and had no clue what it meant. Still, I didn't give up. I downloaded a demo trading app and pretended to trade with fake money. And let me tell you, I lost fake money every single day. Sometimes I would blow my demo account in one night. But weirdly, it didn't scare me off. It made me want to learn more. The AI part came later. At first, I was just a bad trader with no plan. But then I realized something. I was too emotional. When a trade went red, I panicked and closed it too fast. When it went green, I got greedy and held it too long. I was my own enemy. That's when I remembered that story. AI doesn't panic. So I started reading about bots. I found free code on GitHub, joined Discord groups where people talk about trading with AI, and stayed up at night watching tutorials. I didn't understand programming fully, but I learned how to copy code, test it, and slowly make small changes. My first bot was a disaster. It traded like crazy and lost everything. I thought, okay, this is not magic. AI is only as good as the rules you give it. So I went back, studied again, and built another version. This one was slower, more careful. It didn't make big money, but it also didn't lose as much. By now, I had scraped together $100. That was like gold to me. I put it into a live forex account and connected my bot. I swear, my hand was shaking when I pressed start. Watching that first trade was like watching a rocket launch. It went up, then down, then sideways. At the end, I made $2. $2. It sounds like nothing, but to me it was proof. Proof that this thing could work. From there, I got obsessed. Every day, I'd rush to the computer to see what the bot did. Sometimes it made money. Sometimes it lost, but I kept adjusting. I read about risk management, stop losses, and backtesting. I learned that success wasn't about one big win, but about small, consistent wins. Months passed. My account grew from $100 to $200, then $500. I still couldn't believe it. My friends thought I was wasting time. My parents had no idea what I was doing. They just thought I was always studying. Then came the first turning point. One morning, I woke up, checked my phone, and saw that the bot had made $50 while I was sleeping. $50. That was more than my mom made in a whole day at the market. That moment changed me. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about freedom. I started dreaming bigger. What if I scaled up? What if I could make $500 in a day? What if this could actually replace my parents' jobs? But before that dream, I had to face reality. The bot wasn't perfect. Sometimes, out of nowhere, it would crash or make bad trades. I lost $200 in a single night once, and I felt sick to my stomach. That was money I couldn't afford to lose. I almost gave up, but then I remembered my promise to myself. I will retire my parents. So I pushed through. I tweaked the bot. I tested it more. I learned to accept small losses as part of the game, and slowly things improved. The bot became more stable. The profits, while not huge, became steady. And that's where the real story begins. Because once I realized I could trust my AI to make money while I slept, while I ate, while I lived, everything changed. So after I proved to myself that my AI bot could make money, even if it was just a few dollars a day, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every morning, the first thing I did was check my phone to see what the bot had done while I was sleeping. Some mornings I'd wake up smiling because it made $20 or $30. Other mornings I felt sick because I saw a red number. But here's the thing. I started to understand that losses were part of the game. Before, if I lost $5, I felt like quitting. But now, I looked at it differently. If I lost $5 today but made $15 tomorrow, I was still winning. That was the mindset shift that changed everything. I kept improving the bot. I read forums where people shared strategies. Some said to focus on one pair like euro to US dollar. Others said to let the bot run on multiple pairs. I tried everything. Sometimes I would leave the bot running on 3 pairs and wake up to chaos. Like, it would make money on one but lose on another. I learned to make rules. I coded it to stop trading after a certain loss, to take profit automatically, and to avoid trading during crazy news events. The account grew slowly. From $500, it became $800, then $1,000. Hitting that $1,000 was like climbing a mountain. I remember staring at the balance and thinking, wow, this is real. But of course, the journey wasn't smooth. There was one night I will never forget. I had grown my account to about $1,200. I felt unstoppable. I let the bot run without checking too much. The next morning, I opened the app and saw the balance, $600. I had lost half of it overnight. I almost cried. I couldn't eat that day. I felt like all my hard work was useless. But that loss taught me something important. Never risk too much on one trade. I went back and rebuilt the bot's rules. I made it stricter, smaller lot sizes, tighter stop losses, slower but safer growth. From there, things got better. The bot wasn't chasing big wins anymore. It was focused on surviving. And guess what? That's what made it stronger. Slowly, my account grew again. $1,200 came back. Then $2,000. Then $3,000. That's when I started to see money in a way I never saw before. $50 a day was now normal. $100 days started happening. I wasn't rich yet, but for someone like me, this was life-changing. I started helping out at home. If my mom needed money for groceries, I gave it to her without her asking. If my dad needed money for transport, I just handed it to him. They thought I got a better job somewhere, but I stayed quiet. I didn't want to tell them until I was sure this thing was stable. One of the craziest moments came when I paid my mom's hospital bill. Normally, she would worry about every little expense. But this time, I told her, "Don't worry, I've got it." And I paid the bill straight from my trading profits. The look on her face, I can't even describe it. It was like she saw her little boy turn into a man right in front of her. By this point, I wasn't just trading on my own money. I started saving bigger portions of my profits and putting them back into the account. I also discovered something called prop firms, basically companies that give you money to trade with if you can prove you're a good trader. My bot passed one of their challenges, and suddenly I had access to tens of thousands of dollars in trading capital. That's when the game completely changed. With prop firm accounts, I was no longer making $20 a day. I was making $200, sometimes $500 in one good session. And all I had to do was make sure the bot followed the rules and didn't blow the account. Of course, I had to stay disciplined. There were days when I got greedy and tried to override the bot, thinking, let me just add one manual trade for more profit. And guess what? Every time I interfered, I messed it up. That's when I realized the bot was smarter than me. My job wasn't to trade anymore. It was to manage risk and let the AI do its work. The money started to pile up. I bought new clothes, upgraded my laptop, and even helped pay for some repairs at home. But I still hadn't told my parents the truth. They still thought I was doing some kind of online schoolwork or freelancing. Inside me, though, a bigger plan was forming. I didn't want my parents to keep working. My dad was getting older, his back hurt all the time, and my mom's legs were swollen from standing all day in the market. They gave me everything, and I wanted to give them something back. So I started saving aggressively. Every big profit I made, I put a part of it aside. I wanted to build enough so that I could tell them, you don't need to work anymore. By the end of that year, I had enough saved to cover several months of household expenses. That was the moment I knew. The dream I had as a kid was about to come true. But telling them wouldn't be easy. They didn't even know what forex was. They didn't trust online money stuff. I knew they would think it was a scam. So I had to plan carefully how to break the news. So let's rewind a little. For months, I had been stacking up profits. I wasn't spending crazy money on luxury things. I wasn't buying cars or flashy watches. Nope. My dream was bigger. Retire my parents. I wanted my dad to rest his back. And I wanted my mom to never worry about standing all day in the market just to sell tomatoes. But there was one problem. My parents didn't even know what I was doing. They thought I was just some kid glued to his laptop all day. My dad used a joke. One day your eyes will fall out from staring at that screen. They didn't understand forex, and the word AI sounded like science fiction to them. So I planned it carefully. One Saturday morning, I sat them down at the dining table. My heart was beating fast. I told them, Mom, Dad, I've been working on something online. It's called forex trading, but I don't do it like normal traders. I built an AI robot that trades for me. At first, they looked confused. My dad frowned. My mom shook her head. She said, Are you in some scam? Are you gambling our future? I smiled and pulled out my phone. I opened my trading account and showed them the balance. Tens of thousands of dollars sitting right there. I showed them my withdrawals too, the money I had been secretly using to pay bills and groceries. My mom's mouth opened wide. She said, Wait, so you're the one who paid for my hospital bill? And all this time, I thought it was your uncle who helped us. I laughed and said, No, Mom, it was me. It was the AI. It was forex. My dad stayed quiet for a long time. Then he looked at me and asked one question. Is it stable? Can it last? I nodded. Yes, Dad. I've tested it. I've built safety rules. I've even passed prop firm challenges with it. This isn't luck. It's a system. And that's when I told him the words I had been dreaming of saying since I was a kid. You don't need to work anymore. I've got you now. Silence. Then my mom started crying. She held my hands and said, You mean I can stop going to the market? I can finally rest. I said, Yes, Mom. You don't need to sell another tomato again, unless you want. My dad's eyes watered too, though he tried to hide it. He just patted my shoulder and said, I'm proud of you, son. You did what I couldn't do in my whole life. Guys, that moment broke me. I had imagined it 1,000 times, but nothing compared to hearing those words. From that day, everything changed. My dad retired from the factory. No more back pain from carrying heavy loads. My mom stopped standing in the hot sun for hours. Now she spends time in the garden, cooking, and just relaxing. And me? I keep improving the AI. I'm not chasing billions. I'm chasing freedom. For me, for my family, and for the people I love. So, yeah, that's my story. From a broke kid with $50 to retiring my parents using AI forex trading. If you're watching this and thinking, wow, I wish I could do that too, just know one thing. I didn't start with talent. I didn't start with money. I started with a promise to myself that I would change my parents' lives. And I did. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my journey. And hey, Drop a comment below and let me know. If you had the chance, would you retire your parents too? Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed the story, and I'll see you in the next one.